all people to voice their opinion without interference.
Yeah, so I mean, there was like, if you see the video, the local news report, there's actually a video. I mean, you can really tell. You can really tell. Like these are not a lot of people who are actually coming in and doing this, but it's really important to see that they can and they will get this down to find success. And they were able to shut down an ICE facility temporarily. How cool is that? So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Now we turn to a much more juicy story. We can say the least. Yeah. And so we turn now to this whole scenario. And there's really some great investigative journalism work out there. Yeah. So there's really some great investigative journalism work here done by the company Splinter. And Splinter is a news journalism company we cite sometimes on the show. And they're not very like old-fashioned. They're a much newer outlet. They are much more focused on making sure that there are people, like, they're much more activist, more than just traditional journalistic stuff, if you know what I'm trying to say. They're much more new and modern, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing. So yeah, as we all know, this is how the post begins here. The Trump administration's policy of separating immigrant children from their families has been credited primarily with the strenuous efforts of the White House advisor Stephen Miller. Perhaps you would like to call him about it, they say. The New York Times reported that Miller, the wolfish young Trump whisperer, has been the most effective driving force behind the implementation of a brutal policy that is now leading the national news, a policy Miller himself called a simple decision. So why not talk to him? How is he able to make such a good, effective, simple decision? I would really like to know. That would be some pretty incredible stuff, just to get to talk to the man behind the madness, right? So, yeah. While citizens plan protest marches and scream at Kirstjen Nielsen, we'll get to that story literally next, as she eats dinner, Miller himself has rather been unavailable for direct feedback from the public. We all know Donald Trump is a great fan of facilitating direct feedback from the public, as we know, as this article says. He gave out Jorge Ramos, the Univision anchor, and Lindsey Graham's number. So it's fair to assume he would support the public's right to call or text Stephen Miller. So his cell phone number is as follows: 202-881-8641. So he's a busy guy, but maybe you can get a hold of him long enough to have a productive discussion. Maybe. We don't know. Maybe he's got some more families' lives to ruin. So, yeah, once again, that is 202-888-8641. We'll put some music behind it, like they do in the commercials, so you can remember it. So here it is. Call Stephen Miller today, 202-888-8641. Yeah, that's literally the only music that we have at the moment that was really ready for disposal. Anyway, yeah, so 202-888-8641. I'm certainly going to call it after the show. I found out about the story, and I didn't get to call me yet, although I did want to, unfortunately. Yeah, but we'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, the DSA, they're at it again. They're protesting this policy too. This is kind of a nice welcome story here. The Democratic Socialists, they ruined family destroyer Kirstjen Nielsen's dinner at a D.C. Mexican restaurant. She went to a Mexican restaurant. Are you kidding me? Let's eat their food. Let's destroy their family. It's like, what could be better than that? Like, where do these people literally get off? This is like, she looks like the female version of Peter Pettigrew in Harry Potter, if you know what that is. He's like literally a rat human. One of the most disgusting people alive. She hides, but with a nice blonde hair, pretty smile, whatever. And she is literally, she's one of the biggest monsters of the Trump administration. And it's not like she hates Mexicans, genuinely and authentically, like Stephen Miller does. She literally, she decided to, she was told by Trump to enforce this, start this family separation policy, and she was berated publicly. She was literally berated publicly by Donald Trump in front of a whole meeting. She was like threatened with her job, everything, a whole Trump shebang. She got pretty much Jeff Sessions, if you're familiar, where you get taken away, you're just dressed down in front of your entire peers, Trump straight to everything. Like the whole cabinet meeting was there, and let's see. Now she's supporting the policy. What do you know? She's supporting this whole policy now, and she tried to go eat Mexican last night, and believe it or not, that did not go well for her. So Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen decided to wind down from a long day, a few days of lying her ass off about the Trump administration's family separation policy by dining at a fancy Mexican restaurant in D.C. So activists at the Metro D.C. chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America decided to pay her a little bit of a visit. Metro D.C. DSA member Margaret McLaughlin said the DSA got a tip from that Nielsen was at MXDC Cocina Mexicana, which is situated a short walk from the White House. On about 30 minutes notice, 15 DSA members showed up and filled the restaurant and yelled, "Abolish ICE, shame, end Texas concentration camps." They just yelled it at her, at the DHS secretary. So, I mean, they got a tip. They weren't even just there eating when they saw her. They just walked up and started yelling at her. Like, that is so great to me. Like, these people, these are hogs. Like these people, they actually present themselves in public, which is the best part about it. They're stupid enough to do that, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit more hesitant about that in the future, but they do not deserve, after what they do to these families, they do not deserve to have a peaceful meal. This is some disgusting stuff, and we don't want to let these people off the hook. These are disgusting, lowest of the low type people, and yeah, the fact that we're dealing with these people is disgusting. It's really disgusting. These people are now, they're ripping toddlers from their parents and they're putting them in makeshift orphanages now, literally, and they should not be allowed to eat in peace. It's as simple as that. Just in case you start to feel a little bit bad for her, this happened precisely one day after Nielsen defended the high standards at the detention centers for children by saying, we give them meals, we give them education, we give them medical care. There is videos, there is TVs. I visited the detention centers myself. How kind of them. And yeah, by the way, I haven't seen pictures of the TVs. All I've seen is pictures of cages there, and teenagers lying on the floor in little foil blankets. That's pretty much it. So now, yeah, we're going to play for you some of the sound of that. So as they start to walk up here and talk about this. So anyway, yeah, so they're at the restaurant.
Is illegal. No human being is illegal. No child is illegal. No child is illegal. No child.
And there's like these security goons standing there. And they sing the song, keep in mind, on Facebook Live.
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! No borders! No walls! No borders! No walls! Sanctuary for all! Sanctuary for all! No borders! No walls! Sanctuary for all! No borders! No walls! Sanctuary for all! No borders! No walls! Sanctuary for all!
Yeah, so you get the idea there. Kirstjen Nielsen trying to eat her dinner in peace was interrupted because that's what should happen to people who destroy families along the Mexican border, because they are disgusting people. Let's be real. They are disgusting people who they don't deserve to be able to be out in public and not be humiliated and called out and yelled at and embarrassed for the people that they are, which is good. It's very good this is happening. And it's very hard to get mad at if you're being actually honest with yourself here. So anyway, yeah, we're going to take a quick break here. Unfortunately, thank you so much for staying with us. This is Newsflash. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
Welcome back to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. We thank you so much for joining us here today. A lot of busy stuff to get to, and we are down to our final two stories. So House Democratic Caucus Chair Joe Crowley is raising some last-minute campaign cash from a corporate lobbying firm famous for its ties to the Republican Party. Faced with a surprisingly strong challenge from the progressive first-time candidate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York's Democratic primary, Crowley, the fourth-ranking House Democrat, is slated to appear at the offices of BGR Group on 13th Street in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday afternoon for a fundraising reception. This afternoon he was there for a fundraising reception. That's fun. Gotta be pretty fun. According to a copy of the invitation obtained by The Intercept, so the invitationalist Crowley's position in the leadership of the Democratic Party is a powerful member of the Ways and Means Committee, which oversees tax policy. So what are they going to talk about? Most likely tax policy. They want to know that they are in good hands under Joe Crowley, and they're doing what they can to keep the billionaires in good hands. No matter what's happening at the southern border, who cares? They just want their billionaire selves in good hands and keep things under control. So the invitation lists Crowley's position in the leadership as a Democratic Party, as we know that. So the BGR. The BGR is named for its founding partners, all of whom were Republicans. Harley Barber, the former RNC chair, Ed Rogers, former aide to President Ronald Reagan, and Laney Griffith, former education official in the George H.W. Bush administration. The firm boasts a high-profile list of clients, many of whom face contentious issues on Capitol Hill. BGR represents defense giants Raytheon, Huntington, Ingalls, and United Technologies on procurement. Pharmaceutical firms, including Eli Lilly and Company, retained BGR Group to explicitly stave off the threat of lowering drug prices. This is Li Fang of The Intercept reporting this. So Cardinal Health, which is facing lawsuits across the country for its role in fueling the opioid epidemic, is supplying known pill mill pharmacies, hired BGR Group on pending legislation dealing with pharmaceutical product distribution. Other firms facing increased scrutiny, including Amazon, Verizon, and Chevron, are also BGR Group clients. So they represent the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. which is known for hiring Washington influence peddling firms that seeks support for a brutal war it's waging in Yemen. BGR represents companies controlled by Russian billionaire Mikhail Friedman, Alpha Bank, and Letter One Holdings. The API is reportedly scrutinizing suspicious communications between the Trump organization